All right, let's go ahead and we'll get started. And with first of all, just welcoming everyone to the HSC Office for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Disability Awareness Month event. And today, especially as we celebrate our awardees for the Excellence Award for Disability Month. So very excited about this today and honoring our awardees. I'm Dr. Valerie Romero Leggett. I'm the Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at the Health Sciences Center and at Family Practice Doc, and just so happy and again appreciative of having everyone join us today. We'd like to thank you for making time to be here. Now, for those who can't be here today, the presentation will be recorded and it's posted on our website, as have been all the other presentations for our Heritage Months, if you all would like to go back and look at something that you may have missed. Let me just go over a few housekeeping items before we start. So please go ahead and place your questions in the chat at the bottom of the screen, and we'll try to address as many of those as we can appropriately throughout or at the end of the presentation. And then please also take a moment to complete the pre-assessment in the chat box. And I think, Amherst, you'll put that in there now. Thank you. And that'll help us understand your interest and reflection during the month. So with that, we're going to go ahead and begin the program. And again, we're here to recognize our National Disability Awareness Month. And this is commemorating the contributions of people with disabilities, as well as those who work in support of that. And it's wonderful that this year, the theme for this year's Disability Awareness Month is Advancing Access and Equity, then, now, and next, because it's honoring the 50th anniversary of the passage of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. And that was the first federal legislation to address access and equity for people with disabilities. So really extra special celebration as well this year. So we're here, as we said before, to celebrate our awardees for the Excellence Award for Disability Awareness Month. And we are going to start, we have 3 awardees today. And I believe we are going to start with Dr. Amherst Swan, who will be introducing our first awardee. And then the way we're going to do it today is we'll introduce each of the awardees. We'll say a little something about them and why they're nominated and are now our awardees. And then each of them will have a turn to speak. And then we'll also ask if anyone else would like to say something as well on the awardees' behalf. So we're going to start with Dr. Swan.
Thank you so much, Dr. Romero Leggett. Well, it's my honor to introduce our first awardee, Ingrid Hendricks. This would normally be done by Melissa Rethelson, who recommended you for the award. But since she can't be here today, it's my honor to do it for her. So Ingrid Hendricks is a division head for research, education, and clinical information services at the UNM Health Sciences Center, Health Sciences Library and Informatics Center, also as we all know as HISLIC. And as a medical librarian for over 30 years, she has an extensive teaching, literature searching, and knowledge management experience. Ingrid is a tireless champion for disability awareness. She teaches classes to medical, nursing, and occupational therapy students on caring for people with disabilities. These classes she teaches are born out of her own personal experience from her time in hospitals and clinics, and she is able to give students her own insights to shape how they treat people with disabilities. She also presents for national and regional organizations on these topics. In addition, she's an active member of UNM's Facilities Access Committee, most recently advocating for restoring the ramp that has been removed, requiring individuals with disabilities to go through parking lots to get where they needed to go. Her advocacy daily benefits HISLIC and the UNM Health Sciences Center, students, staff, and faculty at large. Thank you so much, Ingrid, for your contribution.
Yay, thank you so much, Ingrid. And we'll, you know what, I am changing things up a little bit because I do see John here from HISLIC and any others who might just want to add something right now, and then we'll have the awardees say their piece later. But if you'd like to, please, anyone add anything if you'd like to at this time.
Well, I Actually, I didn't know that Ingrid was going to receive this award. I just came to the event, so that's all better. But well deserved, well deserved. I've known Ingrid, I'm not going to say how many years, but at least 20 years. And she, I remember when we hired her as a faculty member here, someone used the word charismatic to describe her. And I think that's a really apt description. Ingrid has overcome so many things in life, but she's so pleasant to work with and always positive and inspires all of us. So I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you so much, John. And I would just echo that as well, because in my work with Ingrid for many, many years now, I'm going to be the same. I won't say how many years, but have just appreciated her engagement and advocacy and just what she brings to all of us in terms of awareness and just how inclusive and wonderful she's been. And I actually learned more now in reading the nomination things that Ingrid, I didn't even know some of the wonderful things that you've been doing. And I'm really looking forward to continuing to work with you and appreciate your leadership here at the institution. And thank you so much. And just very excited for you today, and congratulations. So I'm going to say, Dr. Swan, I'm going to go ahead and we'll have Dr. Bissell is here today and placed in the nomination for Dr. Tony Benton. And Elena, I'll turn it over to you.
And I'm sorry, everybody, I'm like in the conference room of my clinic and I just ran out of a clinic room. So I'll be brief, and if there's background noise, I apologize. But I nominated Dr. Benton for this award. I'm way more eloquent in my writing than in my speech, but Tony has trained probably 2 generations of family physicians and other people to care for people with disabilities. She trained my class and people above me and people behind me in respecting people who have a disability. And I'm not saying it right, but just in treating the whole person and understanding that somebody with CP, even though they may be nonverbal, can completely communicate and tell us what's going on with them in a nonverbal way, treating the whole person, the whole family, understanding their social situation. And just her education to us in medical school and then in residency, and the continued dedication she has to that population is just amazing and beautiful. And she has really not just in her own clinic and her own program, which is amazing that she does what she does for the state. She has trained, I don't know how many doctors in how to take care of people in a better, more respectful and humanistic way. And so she's amazing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bissell. And that was quite eloquent and articulate. And I just appreciate that you're able to join because you didn't think you would be able to. And I will add a couple more things from your nomination as well and say I truly have worked with Tony for so many years and agree with everything that you had to say. And she has been very pivotal in the treatment of individuals with disability because that's been her career. So many of you may be aware of the TASC, the Transdisciplinary Evaluation and Support Clinic. That's a program for the state and her work with that. She's done that clinic here, the Adult Special Needs Clinic, the Adult Cerebral Palsy Clinic, the New Mexico Department of Health Safe Feeding Clinic, which is that SAFE stands for supports and assessments for feeding and eating. So as Elena mentioned before, she has served our state and as consultant and leaders in our Department of Health Development Disability Supports Division. And just again, it's all about patient-centered care delivery for our individuals with developmental intellectual disabilities and complex special health care needs. And again, years of this, decades of this work and commitment and dedication, so appreciated by all of us, and look forward to hearing from you in a little bit as well, Tony. And if I just want to add that as well, and that came from the nomination as well from Dr. Bissell, who did not have that there with her now, but really so eloquently described by Dr. Benton is receiving this award today. And is there anyone else who would like to say anything right now about Dr. Benton? And you can say something later.
Yeah. Hi, this is Yvonne Ellington. Sorry, my camera's not on, but I wanted first to congratulate both Ingrid and Tony. Ingrid, I've known you since I was a student, and I've always cherished our friendship and also the presentation you have given to the PA community at least one conference that I was at. So you've educated our community well. And Tony and I have worked side by side in clinic, and she continues to be an amazing mentor and is helping to train future PAs and has given guest lectures for us here at the PA program. And I just love you both and think you both have amazing integrity and charity and compassion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. Really appreciate that. And then Patricia, did
Yes.
you? Yes.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. And my video is not working, so I apologize for that. I have known Dr. Benton for over 20 years as a supervisee, as a colleague, and as a friend. And just to add to the many wonderful things that have been said, she has also worked internationally and nationally in providing conferences and workshops and technical assistance to physicians and other disciplines in how to work with individuals with disabilities. And with the many clinics that you mentioned. And so I just wanted to express my appreciation for her empathic and very caring way that she works with the individuals that she serves. So again, thank you, Tony, and congratulations.
Thank you, Patricia. Appreciate that. Wonderful. Already, this is already making my day today. It's so just wonderful for us as we celebrate each other, right? And learn more about each other. So anyone else? I didn't see any other hands up. Oh yeah, please. Please.
So I've also worked with Tony for, I think it's probably 20 years as well. And I would like to attest that the care that she has for her patients is genuinely heartfelt. And I think that and her leadership style, I'd also like to comment that that has attracted kind of an amazing group of people to work on the TASC team. And I think her leadership and the heartfelt care that she projects is what has attracted such great people. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing that as well. Appreciate it. All right. Well, we are next going to have Dr. Wandinger Ness, who nominated Dr. Ty Martin, introduce Dr. Martin. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Romero-Leggett, and thanks to everyone for being here and celebrating this important day and month. I think it's really important to recognize those individuals who help others with disabilities and or themselves have disabilities and shine the light for others. So I nominated Dr. Ty Martin. Ty Martin is a biomedical engineer, and he's a PhD graduate of UNM, and he's an alumnus of a postdoctoral training program that I lead called the Academic Science Education Research Training Program. And it's one of 20 such NIH programs funded across the nation. What I would like to highlight about Dr. Martin is his commitment to both research that is relevant for individuals who have Alzheimer's disease, and he conducted this as a PhD student with Dr. Eva Chi, who's here from the School of Engineering. And then as a postdoctoral fellow, he himself is a wheelchair user and reliant on accessibility tools. And so he's been a real champion as a postdoctoral fellow for both conducting research and then also being an entrepreneur for developing products or modifications to a wheelchair that could make it more accessible for individuals who use wheelchairs to enter doorways or to have things that they need in their daily routine as they're going about education or whatever they're going about, that they want to have with them, and that it can be easily accessed. And so Dr. Martin, during his time in the programs, he published 7 scholarly articles that were cited 42 times. And with Dr. Heather Canavan, who's also here today, he deployed these adaptive design principles that she has focused on in her lab to develop a sidekick. And then he was part of the National Science Foundation Innovation Corps. So that's also a great honor to be part of that. And so that helps in entrepreneurs refine their technologies or what it is that they want to build. And so he built this sidekick. It's a carapace-like modification that transports gears and preserves ease of access and navigation. And he worked with other investigators in this process through hackathons. And I already mentioned the Innovation Corps. And he prototyped the device and served as the test pilot, which I love. And until he had to step away because of his own medical needs that needed attention. And so I just really wanted to bring him forward for those reasons. And I hope that his 2 mentors can speak a little bit more to some of the details. Maybe Dr. Chi first, if possible.
Yes, hi everyone, and thank you, Angela, for the nomination. Ty, I just want to highlight that as a person, he's just so kind, just so great. As a researcher, he was fantastic. And I think just everybody who's worked with him, lots of graduate students in my group and lots of undergrads, it's amazing to see what he's able to do with them. His work focused on computation, but he's able to bring, kind of level up. I don't know how he even did it. Students from not having used any kind of computational tool to be fully contributing to research projects. And I just know that everybody loved working with him. He's just fantastic.
Maybe Dr. Canavan.
Sure. You've had such a great introduction to Ty. I think the other thing that I'd like to mention is that I know that many people who have disabilities and are wheelchair users have an additional role, which is educating the rest of us as to what it means to be an advocate and what it means to be an ally. And I can say that is one of the things that Ty has been able to do. When he and I first started working together, he was a graduate student still, and I had just come back from my own medical things, and we started to work together about what can we do that'll make things easier for people who are either long-term or short-term disability. They have a long-term or short-term disability. In my case, it was short-term, but his was long-term. And just sort of thinking about how can we involve engineering students so that they can learn how to prototype things in a real design manner and test them out with the need knowers, the people like Ty who know exactly what they want and what they need. And the first time I taught this class, I was lucky enough to have Ingrid come to the class as well, which was really wonderful. And I will tell you that no one who's taken that class will ever be the same, because all of them learned from Ty and Ingrid, really straightforward things, such as if in my school, in the School of Engineering in our building, there were the blue buttons for people with disabilities to get in and out of the building. And there was one that led you to nowhere. It was into a vestibule and no one could get out. And nobody had thought about that or noticed that for years. And it was students who had worked with Ty who went forward and worked with the dean's office to have that fixed overnight. He had all kinds of great ideas for the sidekick, which is, still going through the patent process. And that was such a great collaboration between him and his teammates to say, what can we do? What is it that Ty has identified? And instead of someone else telling him what you should have, he was saying, what I really want is a laptop. sort of perch is what it's called, and so forth. And like I said, I mean, I don't expect for people to have to do that on top of everything else that they're doing in their work, but it was really a wonderful experience, has been a wonderful experience to start to see things through different eyes and start to identify what we can do to assist to help make things a little bit more visible. And I think that that's something that has really changed me, as well as all of the students in my group and everybody who's worked with him. Eva's right, he has had a wonderful impact. So thank you very much, Angela, for supporting him and for nominating him for this award, because it's a wonderful thing.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And congratulations to the awardees as well. Really inspirational work that everyone is doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate hearing about our wonderful awardees. And I don't see any other hands up right now, so it's our opportunity now to hear from our awardees. And Ingrid, we will start with you. And please share with us today. And we just asked the awardees to please just tell us a little bit about their journey and what, a little bit, whatever they'd like to share as well, and then put the award meant to them as well. So thank you.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. I think when you get awards like this, you realize, oh, wow, the things that I've been doing are making an impact. And I, kind of go along and do my thing and hope it does have an impact. But then when you receive awards like this and you hear such nice things from people, it really kind of hits home. So I want to thank everyone here for attending and for the nomination that I received from my director. As Val said, we were asked to say a little bit about our journey to becoming a health professional, faculty member, staff, or student. I started out, my father was a physician, and I was always fascinated by his conversations at the dinner table, which may horrify people because he was a gastroenterologist. So those conversations could get a little messy, but I just always thought that was so fascinating. So I started my path, excuse me, on pre-med, going to take classes at Hopkins because I lived in Baltimore at the time, and then continued that at University of Michigan. But then I quickly realized that the path to becoming a healthcare practitioner wasn't going to be one that was open to me based on technical standards that were put in place that would prevent me from being able to practice as a healthcare professional. So I was still very passionate about the area. So luckily, both my mother and sister were librarians. So I decided, well, I will pursue medical librarianship. So I kind of joke that I have a gene for both my mom and my dad, for one for medicine, one for library science. So pursued the master's in library science degree and realized that I could still be involved in healthcare, work with students, faculty, researchers, clinicians, and help them find the information that they need for their patient care decisions. And it's fascinating work. A lot of people think somehow that we sit around and read all day, which would be great. I would love that, but actually that never happens. But I do learn something new every day, and it's just fascinating to hear about different people's research and what they're trying to find information on. So I just find that fascinating, and I think information changes everything. So it's a very important career that I've chosen. I really enjoy it. In terms of continuing to serve individuals with disabilities, as some people have mentioned, I have been doing a lot of work with educating students. I'm very passionate about educating students about caring for patients with disabilities. So any opportunity I get to talk to students, I do 2 classes with the family nurse practitioners. I've done some classes with the medical students, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and seeing Heather here, I did some classes for biomedical engineering as well. So, and any conferences people are willing to invite me to, I'm happy to talk to them as well. So I kind of feel like disability, and I can't take credit for this, but it's the silent D in diversity. So oftentimes we talk about all these different aspects of diversity, but disability always seems to get left out of that. So I feel like it's my mission to try and raise that awareness and make people familiar with disability and all the possibilities and things that we bring to the table. Another passion of mine is I'm really interested in seeing more providers with disabilities, because I think it's really important we reflect other diverse groups in healthcare, but disability is one that we don't see that much of. And I think it's really important because myself and many people I know with disabilities would really appreciate seeing a practitioner with a disability. So to that end, I'm working with some people at College of Nursing on their technical standards and their accommodations to get more people with disabilities into nursing. I've also, it's funny that Ty has gotten this award, which I think he is so deserving of. He's an amazing person. He actually connected me with a group to be a reviewer for scholarships for students who want to pursue higher education. So I've agreed to be on that committee to review student applications for that, so they can get funding to go to college, go to graduate school, etc. So I think that's just such a great opportunity. And I'm just, as I said, so grateful for this award. I think this is so lovely. I'm really glad that diversity is being more recognized as an important piece of diversity. And then I'm very appreciative that the Health Science Center and their ongoing commitment to diversity and disability. So thank you very much. Appreciate this.
Thank you so much, Ingrid, and really enjoyed hearing about your journey. Things I hadn't known before in our many years together, and then just so very appreciative of what you were saying about the how important the awareness is, importance of information and education, and then that oftentimes it is the silent D in DEI. So thank you so much for your words today, and again, congratulations. I will say that next, Dr. Tony Benton will be our next awardee, but just to also mention to people, and just so you'll be aware, that Dr. Ty Martin is unable to be here with us today. So we'll be hearing next from Tony, and then having any other comments here to continue our celebration today. So Dr. Benton.
Well, I was asked to talk a little bit about my journey and how I ended up doing what I do, and it started in kindergarten. I was the best buddy for 2 little kiddos in my class, one who had Down syndrome and one with CP, and they were my best friends, and we stayed friends all the way through school. And I've I think I've just always been meant to do work with people who have developmental disabilities. It's just what I've always done. I wanted, when I was in high school, I told my counselor I wanted to be a doctor. And she said that medical school would eat me alive and I didn't have the brains or the fortitude to make it through. And so I changed gears and I became a special education teacher and worked all the way through school with kids who have autism, kids who presented with challenging behaviors, kids who had chronic medical conditions, cerebral palsy. And after I graduated from college, I got an amazing job in an early intervention program working with babies who were medically fragile, and working with that program. The medical director was a developmental pediatrician, and she saw me one day doing, circle time, singing Itsy Bitsy Spider and suctioning a trach or doing a G-tube feed while I was helping these babies learn how to be kids, but also helping take care of their medical needs. And she said, you know what, I think we're wasting you and we need to send you to medical school. And she helped me get into medical school. And I always thought I would be a developmental pediatrician, but I fell in love with primary care. And I still love primary care. It's the relationships with my patients. And I've really developed a niche, working with people who are somewhat the hardest of the hard, very medically complex or behaviorally complex. But I feel like through primary care, I've learned how to be able to make such deep connections with those individuals and their families and their caregivers. And it's the best way to practice medicine. I've always loved it. My team is really the key. I work with an amazing team of people, and we have ideas to continue to grow. And so what will I do in my future is I will always do this work in some form or another, working to improve the lives of people who have developmental disabilities, and helping their families, helping their caregivers take better care of them. And so what does this award mean to me? Honestly, I'm so thankful and somewhat humbled, but this award is really, should be going to the entire TASC team. Amazing professionals who just work tirelessly to improve the lives of people with developmental disabilities and their families. So thanks to my team that are here today.
Thank you so much, Tony, and really appreciate what you mentioned and just said here about the team effort, right? And that it does take teams to do so much. I just appreciate, as a fellow family practitioner and so honored to have you in our department, how you've helped us over the years, as Elena was sharing, as we do have patients that, we really unfortunately are not trained as well in this area, but you've given us like that education as a department and so many others to really provide better care. And when we didn't know, we were so incredibly lucky to be able to talk to you and to ask and have you all as these amazing consultants and providers. So thank you for that and for sharing your story and journey and what this means to you today. Thank you. And I see, as I mentioned, Dr. Martin is unable to join us, and I see Dr. Sanchez has joined us as well. I do want to give a huge shout out and deep appreciation to both Dr. Sanchez and Amherst, Dr. Swan, for their work and others who have helped plan for the Disability Awareness Month. It's a lot of work and effort for these incredible sessions. And Dr. Sanchez, if you'd like to say a few words as well, and then we will also open it up again if anyone else wants to offer any other words before we end today's really wonderful celebratory event.
Thank you so much, Dr. Romero-Leggett. I just want to start by saying congratulations. Ty, Ingrid, and Tony, your contributions, I've come to appreciate through your nominations, but more importantly, I've gotten to work with some of you very closely. And it is your presence, your continued presence and leadership that makes this university better and better every day. And so I am hopeful and grateful that all of you continue to support the university and lead not only around disability issues, but all DEI issues broadly. And I know all three of you are making very special contributions. I've had the good fortune of working with Ingrid the most. And even those little moments, Ingrid, of running into you in the courtyard helps build that culture and climate. So thank you again, everyone, for supporting Disability Awareness Month, but also bringing us to the point where we have like 13 months now, which really just shows how we're just not one dimension, but that we bring such great beauty in so many different dimensions. So thank you again, everyone.
Thank you for those wonderful words, Dr. Sanchez, and for your commitment and dedication to get us where we are today in our Heritage Months, along with the many others over these last couple years that have really brought us to where we are celebrating 13 months. So thank you so much for that. And then just opening the floor, if anyone else would like to have any words to say today. Yes, Tony, I think I see your hand up.
So meeting all of you, this gives me an opportunity to maybe start some recruiting for more team members. We at TIASC are actually in process of writing up a huge proposal to develop a truly interprofessional curriculum. South Campus and North Campus combined, all the health sciences, as well as architecture, engineering, education, every part of the university to teach interprofessionally about disability awareness and improving the lives of all people. And anybody that's interested, and especially anybody that knows how to write a curriculum, just give us a call, because that's not in my skill set at the moment, but I'm working on it.
Thank you for sharing that. And I don't know, Tony, that has kind of the flavor here of a grand challenge. Are you guys gonna put one of those in, right? I mean, that sounds like that would be amazing. Yeah, thank you. And great for us to know. So get hold of Tony if you're interested, and especially if you have curricular development skills, but really for any of that, I think that's amazing and really something we do need and have needed for quite a long while. So thanks, that's exciting. And I hadn't known about that. Appreciate that very much. And I think I saw Heather, your hand was up a minute ago, and then Angela.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to jump back on because I had missed the kudos section for Ingrid. I logged in a little bit late. And so I really wanted to say, first of all, Ingrid, you're looking fabulous as always. But, you know, when I was talking about Ty and what he brought to my class, that goes double for Ingrid's contributions as well. I don't know if you've ever worked with engineers, but we have a tendency to think we're always right and have the right idea and solve the problem the first time. And when Ingrid first came to my class and spoke to them about what kinds of things she was interested in having adaptive designs for, they could not get out of their head that she didn't want a coffee cup holder, because that's what the last person, Ty, had asked for. And she kept saying, no, I'm quite happy. I've got this woven, I think it was water bottle holder. This is Nika, another one of my students who wanted to jump on and give kudos to both of you. She just kept saying, no, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. What I actually want is something to help me walk my dog. And it just was this light bulb of like, all of the students were like, oh, I know the answer, and going like, I didn't know the answer at all. Now I have to think again. And it was so valuable, in my opinion, to have someone really point out, you don't know what the problem is. You have to listen to the person who knows the problem. And so having worked with Ingrid from the first hackathon, which is where I met her, and also Nika was on that team as well. When we first started working on adaptive design, you have been so patient with my engineering students and redirecting them, and also such a wonderful teammate to be with. I really, I look forward to seeing you again on campus or virtually like today.
Thank you so much. And I know, Angela, you had your hand up, but I didn't know if also the other person there with you, Heather, you might want to say a few words, but Angela?
Yes, so I just want to alert everyone and give everybody a heads up that the ARACTA program has invited Dr. Rory Cooper from the University of Pittsburgh, and he is, sorry, I just lost my webpage. He's at the University of Pittsburgh, where he's a distinguished professor, and he's a Paralyzed Veterans of America and a founding director of the VA Senior Research Scientist of the Human Engineering Research Labs at Pittsburgh. So we've invited him, and he says he wants to come in person in 2024. So please keep a lookout for that. He's an engineer by training also. So I think it's a great opportunity to bring both campuses together. So
Thank you for sharing that. I do really appreciate it, and we will definitely keep our eyes open for that one and keep on the lookout for that. Thank you. And anyone else? I know we have some nice congratulations in the chat from Gina, or I don't know, Gina, if you're available and would like to share that, and Dr. Ribal as well.
Yeah, thanks so much, Dr. Romero-Leggett. Congratulations to your office and your leadership in, providing these recognitions. I think they are so important. Dr. Zadonis regrets that he's not able to attend today. He had a couple of conflicts and things that were unexpected on his calendar, but wanted to make sure to express that, this is important to him. We just got off of a meeting with our CEO group and our compliance group, and talking through some of the things that came out of our ADA screening and surveying and looking at buildings that needed to have improvements in accessibility and things like that. And so he's asked for an extra study to look at some of the buildings that on health sciences that were not included in that as well. So, it's an important topic to him. He appreciates all the work that you're doing. And I just wanted to pop in to say, congratulations, well deserved, guys.
Thank you so much. And then Dr. Roy Ball, did you want to share as well?
Thank you, Dr. Romero-Leggett, for your leadership. I'm grateful to be in the presence of so many committed individuals and amongst these deserving awardees. I have the privilege of collaborating with many of these awardees through the Inclusive Excellence Council and through the School of Medicine. And they are truly inspirational. And I'm grateful that we continue to celebrate a variety of heritage months, and that we all come together to continue to celebrate the incredible diversity at the University of New Mexico and the Health Sciences Center. And congratulations to all of the deserving awardees.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ribal. And I'm not seeing any other hands up at the moment. For those who may not be in the chat, checking things, we do have a post assessment that we would like to ask you to please take a moment, because of course that helps inform us, our committees and the presenters for our upcoming Heritage Months. And would just again like to thank everyone involved. And again, Dr. Sanchez, Dr. Swan specifically for helping bring all of this together today. And for all of you being here to celebrate. I feel like a lot of times when we do this, I realize I'm hoping we will continue to do this more, because the health and health sciences, it's so important for us to just share together and celebrate together and continue work together. And what I love about it too is we get to learn, like there were some things, of course, I learned things that I didn't even know were happening and other ways that we can actually continue to support each other or collaborate. But again, it does bring awareness across the many things that Heritage Months are here for all of us to really reflect on and celebrate and continue to work for. So thank you again, everyone, for joining today. Remember, all of this is video and recorded here for you to be able to go back and catch anything, and also for prior months and years. Thank you again, and you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.